What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over the top 3 best things that Hitman 3 does. I think this is a phenomenal game. I'm actually going to be reviewing this game this upcoming Sunday on the channel, so if you want like a more detailed breakdown of me just basically gushing at this game, that'll be in a few days. But for this, I want to look at 3 specific features that I think they do really good. Let's not kid ourselves. The story in Hitman has never really been anything to say, nominate for best story or something like that, right? The details of this game are pretty much what makes it shine. So I want to kind of break that down into 3 separate things right now. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And if you guys want to subscribe to my second channel, I do have a second channel. I upload there once a day. It's called Podcast Now Plus. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. All right, so let's go through this. Number 1, these are in no particular order, but number 1 is the scope of these levels. So there's not too many levels. I believe this maybe has the least amount of levels than any of the 3 Hitman games, but these levels are just, it is absolutely insane how big and how detailed, which we'll go into those details in a little bit. And there's different, really, when I talk about details, there's different aspects of details. It's not just, oh, look, there's textures on the wall. No, I'm talking about different stuff there. But the scope of these worlds, and I think you should actually call them worlds because that's what it looks like, are incredible, and they do a really good job each time you enter one, okay? Each time you start up a new level of bringing you into that world. The first level, when you immediately can tell just the scope of how tall this building is, and you go in there, and there is just so much going on. So many things, so many people, so many rooms, and again, everything is just so magnificent and big. You keep going, even like the second level with like the mansion. When you walk into it, right? Well, actually, you kind of have to sneak into it at first, right? But when you're going up there, the mansion looks enormous. And then you look, and there's all these different things even on the side of it. The mansion is detailed. There's hidden rooms in some of these levels. It is absolutely, so I won't go too far into all the other levels, but they are so big. And again, bigger isn't always better, but let me tell you, Hitman 3 is bigger than the other ones, and it is better, I think, than the other ones because it's an enormous playground, and it does walk us into number 2 that this game does really well, and it is those smaller details. And now by smaller details, I mainly mean everybody is doing something, everybody serves a purpose, everything serves a purpose, and that is kind of a make or break moment when you have a game that is so big. So like I said, bigger doesn't always mean better. If it was a bigger world, but there was less people there, and one of the best examples I can look to is Cyberpunk. Now I'm not, I've criticized the game. I don't like completely hate it, but one of the things that upset me is, big world, yeah, but when you're walking on the street, there could be like one person, there could be like one car. It feels very empty at times. So yeah, you can have the biggest, and I'm not saying Cyberpunk is the biggest open world ever, but you can have a big world, you can have a big level, a big mission, but if it's not populated, if there's not things to do, and not things to do that are interesting, then there's really no, you might as well make it smaller, you know what I mean? But for Hitman, it does both so well. Not only are all of these levels so big that you can spend hours just walking through them and figuring out where everything is, because it will, by the way, take you several hours to do that. But then when you enter, and you get fully immersed in, it is the most detailed thing you've ever seen. Now again, I'm actually talking the opposite of like graphics and textures. In fact, some of that stuff, there's issues. I saw a person floating on like a table for me. I saw people walking through each other. There are some like technical issues with this game. So technically, it's not the most detailed thing in the world, like how their faces look and stuff like that. But in terms of, my God, there's meeting rooms, and there's just people working, and there's people sitting in a break room, and there's so much. There's parties, there's security, every level has a different set of circumstances. There's different kinds of people there. There's different kinds of occupations there. It is incredible, and that's just the people. And I actually talk about, I'm recording this after I record the review, so I kind of have those things in my mind. Walking up and just hearing conversations, and they're relatively detailed. Now, some of them give you like side missions that'll help you achieve your main goal, but other ones are literally just people talking to each other. A good example in the second level in the mansion, you can go into like the break room kind of for the employees, and they're talking about one of the guys is going to have kids, and he's never had a kid before, and he's all worried, and they have like a therapy session basically for him in that room, and you can listen to like minutes and minutes of dialogue if you just want to stand there. It is, and that's everywhere. That's literally everywhere in this game, and that is absolutely insane to me that when I thought of Hitman going into this third game, I didn't really think of it being the most, and I talk about this with open world games, that I want them to be livable. I love livable open worlds where I feel like people are doing things for a reason, and it feels like it's alive, it's moving without me. If I were to leave and come back, it feels like it's organic, that they've always been doing stuff. I didn't really think too hard or too much that Hitman 3 would be that. It's more that than 95% of open world games I've ever played. Truly, truly. And the third thing is the, details, but is the weapons and the outfits and the way that you can actually play this game. So yeah, I think all three of these things are very directly connected. So you have the scope, you have the details once you look into just how big it is, and then you have the execution of how you're going to do things. Now, I just said, you can talk to people and they can lead you in certain ways, and doing that, I mean, it's no secret. These Hitman games, like, they're known for, especially these last couple, and Hitman 3 in particular. I mean, I said this in the review. I spent an hour and 40 minutes in the first level, and I did maybe 20% of all the things I could have done, okay? So I missed multiple things. I missed multiple paths that I could have taken, and that is the genius of this game. And that's the thing, again, just having, say, 40 things to do in a like a sandbox kind of open area, that's fine. If they're boring, if they're uninteresting, if the execution isn't there, it's not gonna matter. But luckily for Hitman 3, it is. You know what I mean? Every path, like, and you could just go along the executions, like, okay, how do I want to take out this person? Well, of course you can take them out with like the 50 weapons you can find, or there's a couple specific ways of you actually there's maybe 3 or 4 paths that are like big, that maybe require you to do a couple different things, get some outfits, get into some rooms, sabotage, set up, all that stuff, and maybe there's a couple of them for each person. And that is, and again, that's the more detailed route. If you want to go in there and you want to throw a brick at their face, or you want to stab them with a letter opener or whatever, like, you can do that too. And that is like incredible. Same thing with the outfits. I mean, not everybody can be disguised, okay? You can disguise as, but I love it. I love disguising myself. And now you guys, this is just an add-on. Correct me, or actually tell me, because I remember in the first Hitman, if you were in a costume, okay, that was the same costume as like other groups of people, you had to like hit the button to hide your face. Otherwise, and if you didn't do it or for too long, they would notice you. I don't remember if Hitman 2 got rid of that, but that is gone in Hitman 3. So I forget if it was there or wasn't there. I didn't play that much of Hitman 2, okay? So I love that, because honestly, that was kind of a difficult thing that I didn't like all that much. There are certain people or certain circumstances in which if you have an outfit, people still will act suspicious towards you, okay? Normally it has to do with what you're carrying, because some things are illegal and some things aren't, so you have to get rid of those. But again, those are just more details, right? If I'm in a security guard, but I'm not like a bodyguard, I can't have certain weapons. And if I do, certain people are going to look at me funny. And so again, like the possibilities, not just the details of the world and how you get there, but then when you do get there, the weapons, the outfits, how you do things, how you execute your plan is outrageous. And none of it seems too far-fetched. Some of them do see, like, one last example. In the first level, what seems like the biggest thing you can do is basically like evacuate the entire building. And in order to do that, you have to do like 2 key cards. And see, you hear people talk about these things. Like, people literally are talking about like, hey, tomorrow we're going to do a test run of this security feature. And it's like, dear Jesus, like, what other games do you know of that you get that kind of information from? But like that, it sounds kind of difficult, but like I could also, by being in the world long enough, I could kind of piece together, okay, well, if I wanted to go down that path, which I didn't, but if I did, here's kind of what I would need to do. Maybe I need to find out a little bit more information, but here's kind of the gist of it. So none of the things are really impossible. If you see a path, or the game tells you a path with one of those like optional storylines, let's say, you can do them. You really can. It just takes a little bit more work. So again, this is like an extended review, but no, in all honesty, these are things that I really do think Hitman does very, very well. Like I said, I mean, Hitman doesn't do everything well. Okay, the story is just kind of there to get you from one place to the other, but the things that this game excels at and the things that IO Interactive is good at, there's nobody that does it better, truly. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? What are some of your favorite things about this game? As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And again, if you guys want to subscribe to my second channel, Podcast Now Plus is its name. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.